What is up, guys? It is your boy, Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with another commentary. That's right, sporting my Raiders gear, loud and proud, coming out the closet because they're having a better season. I haven't been able to wear Raider stuff publicly for years. It's actually very sad. So now I'm sporting stuff. I'm going out in the streets letting people know, Raider Nation. Anyway, today, about 4 hours ago, UMG announced that they are banning the OSA for their online tournaments. And a flurry of conversation took place on the Twitterverse. A little bit of it is dramatic. There's some drama going on, and I'm not going to dig into that. But one of the most vocal people about this weapon has been Parasite, and he has not let up on how vocally he wants this weapon to be banned. And to the point where he said today, he suggested to Nameless, he said, why don't we just not play teams that don't want to ban it, that won't not play with it. And I remember this was something that my buddy Fox complained about in the last game or 2 games ago. I don't remember. There was a weapon that, you know, they do these pro player weapon bans. Like Activision doesn't ban the weapon, but they ban the weapon. CWL doesn't ban the weapon, but they personally just say we're not playing with it. And it seems like FaZe right now has decided we're gonna play with this weapon because we can play with this weapon. And they're not necessarily breaking any rules, they're not doing anything wrong. But what I want to know from you guys, what I want to see in the comments, and I want to have a conversation with you guys in the comments, is should it be banned? Like, what should be done with the OSA? Everybody's saying that it's going to be nerfed, which means that the game's going to change, I guess, when it gets nerfed, and then they'll bring it back. I mean, I don't know. What do you do if you stop playing with a weapon and then it gets nerfed? Do you now use it again? Is it going to be used at Vegas? Like, what are the pro players going to do? And a couple of things that I'm seeing that I want to address myself, because I technically, I don't really have an opinion on this one way or the other because I haven't played with the weapon, and I didn't get to watch as much of PSX as I wanted to because of work. And so my question is from you guys, you know, what do you think? The things that I'm seeing that concern me, one thing is, of course, like Parasite mentioned on Twitter, he said, what's the point of talking about stuff anymore? Nobody listens if you're not as significant as some of the larger players. I think Parasite's a pretty important dude in our community, to the point that a few weeks ago when he tweeted out his Reddit post thread or whatever about the changes that could make this game better, even the Codfather himself, Rambo Ray, came out of nowhere and tweeted at him and said, this is really good. This is actually really good read, and these are great suggestions, you know. And that's what made me look at it, is I'm like, well, if Rambo says, then I'm gonna go. And that's the reality of our sport. And we have to start looking at our sport as a sport and our pro players as professionals. And if Cam Newton can get up in every interview for weeks and talk about the fact that calls aren't being made by the refs when he's getting hit, when people are roughing the passer, when they're doing helmet-to-helmet contact and nothing's being called, if he can do that and it gets the attention of a lot of people, I think Parasite should keep talking. That's just my personal view. And I actually tweeted at him and said, I don't think you believe this. You're one of the most passionate people up there with aches when it comes to complaining about things that need to be fixed and that need to change when you feel like no one is listening. And Parasite said, well, you know, I've been as vocal as I could be, but the pro player chat, there's only like 5 players that actually agree with him. So he, you know, took to Twitter. And my thing is, I appreciate it, because although I might not agree with his methods, I might not agree with him trash talking FaZe because they use the weapon and love the weapon and want to keep using the weapon. I might not agree with his methods, but I agree with his message. I agree with the fact, or I guess that would be reversed. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I agree with the fact that pro players should have a voice and they should be able to say something. And if nobody's listening to them because they don't have the following of some of these larger players, you know, if someone from Optic tweeted out and said the OSA needs to be banned, it would get retweeted, favorited by so many thousands of people. And then you'd have people saying, well, you know, now that Krim said something, I think that it's a wise idea. But again, that's what happens in professional sports. You guys, I don't know how many of you know who Ty Lawson is, but most of you probably don't. He's a professional basketball player. If he complained about getting people pushing on the arm, because that's something that they do in the NBA now a lot, is that when they're dribbling, they push the other person, and it never gets called. And then they go up to shoot, and when they move that arm, the other person pushes it, and they get called for a foul. I mean, LeBron does this all the time. I love LeBron. He's my favorite player, but he does this all the time. If Ty Lawson complained about it, we would never hear about it. If LeBron complained about it, if Steph Curry complained about it, it'd be on ESPN. Every single show they had, they'd be talking about it. LeBron James comes out and complains about the arm push, and the refs are now thinking about calling it as a foul. I mean, it's literally a matter of larger following, bigger audience, more people listen. That's just the way things roll. And so I think that someone like Parasite should keep talking. What I think we should be careful of as the community is how much we talk and how aggressively we defend an opinion that we got from another pro that we don't even necessarily agree with. We just agree with the pro player. So we then go to someone like Parasite and say, shut up, Parasite, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, you're clueless. I saw somebody tweet at Parasite when he was complaining about this weapon, and they said, and when was the last time you won an event? When have you ever won an event? Like, realistically, we as the community, we can't go at pros like that. Like, come on. Like, what? That's just not cool in my opinion. Like, the one time I did that on my channel, when I went at Proofy, I apologized so profusely, and people were mad at me for apologizing. And they said I apologized just because he was on Optic and they were talking about me on stream or whatever. And I was like, no, I apologize because I did the wrong thing. I apologize because I said things about someone and I made it personal, and I became a hater, a hashtag hater, and I don't want to be that person. That's not who I want to be. And in my opinion, we as the community, we got to remember that this is a sport. And some of these people are professionals. And when someone with the professional abilities and the skill and the game IQ of Parasite comes out with a Reddit thread or complains about a weapon, we probably should just listen and see what other pros think, rather than just jumping to the conclusion that, oh, that's Parasite, he always complains, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I haven't heard Optic or FaZe say anything negatively, so I'm just gonna say that he's wrong. That concerns me, and we gotta be, I think we have to be careful with that. I still stand by my word from Ghosts, AW, Black Ops 3, and now Infinite Warfare. I always want to call this game Infinity Ward, just because I don't know if they did that on purpose, the IW, but I always want to call it Infinity Ward. Infinite Warfare. I think there should be a players union. The owners and the teams and the orgs that follow me probably extremely disagree with that, because that causes some problems for them, that messes with their money. But at the end of the day, the unity that is in sports that have unions is not in our sport. And I see a lot of beef on Twitter between pro players that have won hundreds of thousands of dollars together and apart. And they're just disagreeing with each other. They're going at each other. And the funny thing is, when roster mania happens, when roster changes happen, they're going to end up playing together. And so I know that they have their group chat, but I still do wish that we had a more structured way of dealing with pro player complaints. That's really all I got to say today. I can't wait to read your guys' comments and go in there and kind of chat back and see what you're saying, because I really want to know, should the OSA be banned or not? This is your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.